in, friends and neighbors, or shall I say this afternoon.
Hello and welcome back to the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise here on MLB The Show. I'm your host, longtime listener. Be sure to drop a like, hit the subscribe button, and comment below. We ended the last episode with the draft, and we'll still need to go through the process of signing these guys, but we know what we're dealing with, and it's not really going to change my negotiation process or whatever. So we would have signed them all one way or another. We're going to attempt to do that. And obviously, the big situation is that we got to make sure we lock up Jess Woulette. But other than that, not a whole lot to really worry about there. We're 2.5 games back with 1 game to go before the All-Star break, and it's Roansy Contreras against Zach Gallen. So what we're going to do is go ahead and quick manage this game. We'll cover the results. We'll go through a mid-season recap, and then quick manage up to this one, play 1 game, and that'll be it for this episode. So sit tight. We're going to be heading out to Arizona to see if we can pick up a victory on the road. Well, we got a win, but this one almost got away from us. We took a 5-2 lead into the 8th, and then Dwayne Underwood Jr. had a collapse and let them tie it with a 3-run bomb. Evan Milton goes 4 for 4, a couple of runs, an RBI, a double, a homer, stole a base, a sacrifice bunt late in the game. He was just doing it all at the plate. Contreras pitches really well, going 6 innings, 5 hits, a walk, 6 strikeouts, 2 earned. Beeks a strong 7th. Underwood blown save number 10 on the year for him. Chase DeYoung gets the win, pitching a scoreless 9th, and then Bednar gets the save, pitching a perfect bottom of the 10th. It was a 2-run homer by... Who hit the 2-run homer that won it for us? It was Rodolfo Castro. So, good game offensively, just 1 bad inning for the pitching staff, and it almost got away. But we pick up a win and close out the first half of the season a game and a half back, although the Brewers might still need to play today. We still need to go in and put Mitch Keller back into the starting rotation. And, okay, so here's the situation. Like, this pitching staff is just not really getting it done. These 3 just haven't been very good. I mean, between the 3 of them, that's 3, 5, that's 12 wins. Milton has 15. So, like, we need help in the rotation. And we're in the playoff hunt to where I think we might look to make a deal at the trade deadline. So we kind of need to look at who all is out there. So if we look at trades and view the trade block, and basically I want to look for starting pitchers, but I don't really think that that's going to be an option to just filter by starting pitcher. The Dodgers are shopping Dustin May, but he hasn't been very good. So I don't think that's the move. We'll come... I don't like looking at the page where it's just everybody. Frankie Montas, he's actually been okay for the Yankees this year. 78 overall. He's a C potential, and he's 30 years old, so he doesn't have a whole lot left in the tank. But he has been pretty solid for them. A 3.54 ERA and a 1.24 WHIP. I could live with numbers like that, and he doesn't have anything that he's bad at. And he's in the last year of his contract, so this is one that, like, that's a decent option to try and go get somebody like him and not have to spend a ton to get him. They're looking for help at first, third, or short, and we'll just have to see, like, let's look at standings and figure out why they are shopping him. They're 7 games back, but, like, in the AL wild card, they're in first. So, actually, one more thing to look at with them is runs against 321, runs for 377. Like, I don't know that either of those numbers are really that bad. The runs against is actually pretty solid, I feel like, at 321. So maybe they're just thinking that they can get away with giving up a little bit of pitching, try and get better on offense, and that could get them into the mix in the division. But let's keep looking here at... Okay, we were on the Yankees. Who else is out there? Yonny Chirinos. So, 29 years old, basically the same general kind of pitcher as Montas, maybe not quite as much stamina. He's been really good for them. He's only started 23 games. 23? Oh, no, he hasn't been a starter. They've been using him as long relief. And he's been really good for them. So, and really, he hasn't been able to stay healthy the last few years, but he's never really had any season where his numbers have been bad. So that could actually be a decent pick, and the fact that you get him for, you know, another year of team control, that one has some potential. So we'll maybe look at him. Who else? Aaron Savali. The Guardians are shopping him. Definitely a little bit more upside as far as, like, the length that you could get value out of him. He's been pretty good, a 3.46 ERA, 1.17 whip, and you've got 3 years of team control, so he might be expensive. But that's 3 pitchers right there. Jose Urquidy. I am not doing a deal with the Astros. I'm not going to do it. Suarez, 25 years old, B potential. I have a feeling they're going to be asking for a ton in exchange for this guy. And I don't think he's really proven himself. So I don't think that's the one that makes sense. Chris Flexen, I don't think would help us a ton. Luzardo? No, 4.31 ERA. Is it? Yeah, he hasn't been very good. So we've got a few guys to potentially look at here. And when we look again at standings, the teams that were interested in shopping were the Rays and the Yankees, who they are contenders, and then so are the Guardians. So, like, dealing with any of them, I don't think makes a ton of sense. The only other one that was in the mix was, what's his name for the Angels? I just don't know that that's the move. Let's go back. Or wait, what about Luzardo? No, 4.31 ERA. He just hasn't been very good. So, yeah, Jose Suarez. Like, the ratings, as far as his attributes, aren't bad. His stats are okay. And we'd have him for 4 years. Let's see. We'll keep him in mind and see if the Angels, are interested there. But I need to go ahead and update my trade block because this is a situation where we need to be aggressive, I think. We're in the hunt for the playoffs. If I get rid of any one of these two, Quinn Priester is ready next year to be just as good as them. But I don't think I would want him on the opening day roster. So I'd like to have somebody else so that I don't have to think about who is that 4th starter next year. So let's go ahead and put these two on the block and see if we can replace one of them, like player for player kind of thing. I can't afford to give away any relief pitching because we're so bad there. Look at how bad we are. It's amazing we're even in the playoff picture. Henry Davis, man, I need to get him hitting because I need him to be my corner outfielder next year, and that's just, he's not ready. So we'll have to see what goes down there. I don't have any first baseman to give away. Let's put Matthias on the table. He's been raking, so maybe somebody's got a little bit of interest in him. We'll see. Nick Gonzalez. I think I could get some value for him. And with Termar Johnson right there in the wings, like, I don't think I need Nick Gonzalez, although he's injured, so I don't think I can trade him, but we'll put him on there anyway. I'm not going to put Strange Gordon on there because that would be a little bit shady. Pick him up and then immediately put him on the trade block. I can't afford to get rid of Hayes because I don't really have any other options at third. At short, why don't we try and put Leover Peguero on the block? He's going to be blocked out by Cruz for his whole career. And he's only 22, 65B potential. I might be able to get some pretty good value for him. I don't think I want to trade any of these guys. I don't think I'll get any value for any of these guys, but we'll put Frazier on the block. He's 25 C potential, and I'm never going to use him at the major league level, at least not as a regular, so I'm okay with that. And then we can't really afford to give away any of those guys. So we're doing that, and we are looking exclusively for starting pitching. Actually, we'll look at relievers as well. So that's our move at the as far as the trade block. We're coming up on the All-Star game. Let's go ahead and just advance one more day. Yes. Oh, we've got to actually sign draft picks. So I'll show you the process just for those of you who are unfamiliar. We want to have him be our #1 priority for sure. We can't make him an offer yet because you have to be at least at 50%. Number 2 pick was Samuels. He's pretty interested. He wants 2.1 million. The MLB, slot value is 1.85. I'm not going up, and he signed. Then we have Raymond Taylor. So he wants 687, which is less than the slot value, so I'll just make him that offer, and he turns it down, even though that's what he said he wanted. Not a big deal. We'll get him signed. We'll go Paniagua next, because he was our next pick. He's pretty interested. I think we can get him for that, and he declines. So we just have to lock that in, finalize that as our strategy, and just go from there. We'll get everybody signed. It's roulette that I'm worried about, and everybody else will be easy. It's just a matter of time. So let's go ahead and wait. Are we on the day of the All-Star game? We are. So let's hold here and review statistics. So we're a game and a half back. We'll look around the league at standings. Starting in the American League East, the Rays looking really good, 7 games up in division. Orioles are hanging in there. Blue Jays and Red Sox are, falling out of the picture. Guardians are a game and a half up on the Twins. Look how bad the Tigers are. Goodness gracious. Astros a game up on the Angels. Look at that. Maybe that's why they're, shopping around and there's no Shohei or Mike Trout on the block. The Mariners 2 games back, so they're, that's a pretty tight race there. The Angels or the A's are just atrocious, which is to be expected. And then there's the look at the wild card. You've got 6 teams within 2 games of a wild card spot. The Braves 3.5 up on the Phillies. Nobody else even close there, and the Mets being the Mets, 3 games below 500. The Brewers have us by a game and a half. Everything else there is about what we might have expected based on real life, although the Reds a little bit disappointing based on what we've seen since Ellie De La Cruz got called up in real life. Dodgers 6.5 up over the Padres, 59-30, as MLB The Show just freaking loves the Dodgers in general. Nobody else there super noteworthy. And then in the wild card, Padres and Phillies, we're right there. Game and a half up on the Giants. The Mets 3.5 back, so still not out of it, but they're going to have to make a move before it's too late. And actually, one last thing to look at on the standings. You see our runs scored is the best in division, but the runs against is not getting it done. We actually have a negative run differential for the year, even though we're 4 games above 500. So our season statistics, we're hitting 263, Slugging 419, on base percentage is 323. Fielding has been okay, and the ERA north of 4, not that great. We'll look at individual, actually, let's go team rankings first. So our team average is 5th best in all of baseball. Runs scored, 5th best in all of baseball. I'm not real worried about hits. 5th in doubles, 5th in triples. What about home runs? 20th. That's not terrible. Reynolds has 16, and then Milton is actually 2nd best with a baker's dozen, then Sawinski with 12. Stolen bases, we are tied for 9th with 70. That's not bad. We're the best in the league as far as avoiding getting caught, which gives us the best stolen base percentage by almost 100 points. Walks, we are right in the middle of the pack. Strikeouts, 8th. That's pretty good. Slugging, 9th is pretty good. On base percentage, 8th is pretty good. Total bases, 9th. We're hitting into a ton of double plays. Goodness gracious. Milton has hit into 14 double plays this year. That is ridiculous. Let's just look at fielding percentage. We are 27th. Not very good. ERA, 24th. Not very good. Complete games, we're going to be way down at the bottom, I bet. Just because we don't, yeah. Milton's got the only one for us. But it's because we're running a 4-man rotation. Shutouts, as a team, we're tied for 9th. That's not bad. Saves, we're actually doing okay here in 8th. That just tells us that we're winning a lot of close games. But blown saves, dead last by 10. Dwayne Underwood has 10 blown saves, and he's not even a closer. And his ERA isn't even that atrocious. Bednar with 8. That's just, you can't do that kind of stuff. Hits allowed, 23rd. Home runs allowed, we're 1st, so we're keeping the ball in the ballpark. Are we walking a ton of guys? Yeah, 23rd, that's not good. 4th in strikeouts is very good. And then win percentage is just a reflection of, obviously, your team. So, next, let's look at, I want to look at league leaders. So, in batting average, it's Harper hitting 369. Milton is 9th at 309. So he's turned it on a little bit over the last week or so. 2nd most hits in the league. 4th most doubles. Triples, Turner has 10. Our best is 4. We got a couple of, look at that. Cruz has 4 triples, and he's only played like half the games. Home runs, Reynolds tied for 13th with 16. RBIs, who's our best in this category? Geez, Reynolds with 48, tied for, what is this? 14th. That's not terrible. Milton has the 2nd most runs, the most stolen bases by 10, 2nd most walks, 4th best on base percentage. Slugging, Harper leading in that category. There's Milton, 12th. He's 8th in OPS. Harper's having a heck of a year, but he's injured right now. And then in wins, I'm ahead by 3 with 15. Just 2 losses. Bednar is 5th in saves, and he could be leading the league if he wasn't terrible all year. ERA is still Kershaw, but Milton is now down below 2 at 1.98. Home runs allowed, you got 2 with 4. The rest of the field, the best is 8, and that's where Milton sits. Corbin Burns has 4 shutouts. Good for him. Milton leading the league in strikeouts by 50. So he's at 171 strikeouts at the All-Star break. Should eclipse 300 at the pace he is on right now. Innings pitched, he's got 145, which is 15 more than anybody else. Walks allowed, he is second, and when you consider that he has pitched that many more innings than anyone else, that is really impressive. Whip, he is second. Pitching WAR first. Batting WAR, he is third. So that is really impressive stuff from him. Let's actually look at the American League real quick. Stephen Kwan hitting 347. Judge has 28 dingers. 71 RBIs for Alvarez. Kyle Tucker, 23 stolen bases. Josh Bell leading the league in walks. Kwan, this guy can put the bat on the ball. Aaron Judge leading in slugging and OPS. What was his batting average? 304. So he's got work to do in that category to get the Triple Crown, but he's doing well in the others. Wins, Tyler Glasnow with 11. So you got two of the Rays starters with 11 wins apiece. 33 saves. Jake DeGrom having a pretty solid year, 1.91 ERA. Shane Bieber, 5 shutouts. DeGrom has 149 strikeouts, which is second best in all of baseball behind me. 7 complete games for Shane Bieber, and 139 innings worked as a result. That's crazy. 0.75 whip for Jake DeGrom, and he doesn't have the best pitching WAR. That's just, I don't understand that. Mike Trout, the best batting WAR, yet again. This guy is just unreal. 281, 19 homers, 80 games played. So he's managed to stay relatively healthy this season. But, you know, if you look back at his career, it's really been since 2016. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. These couple seasons were okay. Then COVID, then 2021 he missed almost the whole season. Last year he missed 40 games. This year he's doing okay. How long do they have him locked up? 2030, which is pretty much putting him at the end of his career. He's going to be an Angel until he retires, pretty much. So that's a look at the standings and statistics around the league. One last thing we'll look at is awards. So we'll look at the All-Star voting. Milton cleaned house in terms of starting pitching. Nobody else on my team even sniffed a shot there. You got some pretty good names at the top of this list. No major surprises. Relief pitching is not super relevant. And you see here, like 71 overall, 79, 70, 71. That just tells you how volatile relief pitchers are in this game. It's just, you never know what you're going to get from these guys. Dylan Floro is the closer who got the nod over Evan Phillips as far as all-star starts. Actually, none of these, just Castro was the only reliever. All of these guys as closers get elected to the Summer Classic. Will Smith is the catcher. Romuto, I don't know. I assume he gets to go as well. Second most votes there. Andy Rodriguez way down there. Milton gets it at first, and it wasn't even close. Freddie Freeman, similar numbers, but no stolen bases to match it. So, heck of a year for this guy at 18 years old. Matt Olson putting up pretty solid numbers as far as the power goes, but the average is terrible. Ozzie Albies at second, along with Jeff McNeil. Manny Machado at third, having a heck of a year. Arenado, pretty good power numbers. The average down a little bit. Austin Riley, solid year for him. That's a good year for Gene Segura, hitting 316. Who was I don't have anyone even close there. Shortstop, Xander Bogaerts, 336, 18 dingers. That was not even really close. Trey Turner is second, and he's hitting 237. And not even stealing a ton of bases. So, interesting there. Gurriel Jr., pretty solid year in left, 266, 15 homers. Sawinski just missing out here as he cooled off a little bit. The power numbers kind of just froze at 12, and he ends up missing the All-Star game by a few votes. Center field, Brian Reynolds ends up second behind Harris, who scorching hot going into the break, hitting 281, 15 dingers. Reynolds, the power numbers are there, but the average at 239 is definitely a concern. Chisholm, I think he's overrated, but that's just me personally. Bryce Reynolds, just absolutely bonkers numbers, and he's now injured, so we'll see how that plays into things. Trace Thompson, 328, 20 home runs. Good year for Joey Meneses. Starling Marte hitting the ball well. Castellanos swinging it well. Mookie Betts decent. All right, so that's it for the National League. In the American League, the usual suspects there. Here's Ohtani. Let's look at his numbers real quick. So he's 9-3 across 20 starts, 124 strikeouts, a 2.64 ERA, and he's hitting 259 with just 9 home runs. So struggling at the plate, but getting it done on the mound for them so far this year. And then no other major surprises on this list, really. So that's that. Relief pitcher. Again, 72, 71, 72, 86. Like, why is he not a closer for somebody if he's that good? But Morgan, the only one that gets the All-Star trip. And then Jason Adam, Bautista. Yeah, Adam's been really good. 0.96 ERA, 0.99 whip. Bunch of these guys pitching pretty well. Catcher, Salvador Perez. Eric Haas, a good year. 252, 13 home runs. He's been terrible in real life. Adley Rutschman having a good year but got hurt. So tough break for him. Interesting race there as you got a bunch of guys, swinging the bat pretty well at first base. Jorge Polanco runs away with it at second. Altuve hitting just 263, 10 home runs. Jose Ramirez, another solid year for him. One of the most stable and consistent players in all of baseball. Gunnar Henderson, a pretty good year. 278, 12 home runs for the rookie. Bo Bichette doing a good job. 310, 20 dingers. Correa having a good year for the Twins. Alvarez is raking. Steven Kwan, not a ton of power, obviously. He's actually got 7 home runs, which isn't bad for a guy like him. It's just he relies on putting the ball in play, using his legs. Jimenez having a good year. Arozarena having a good year. Trout having a great year. Cedric Mullins, pretty solid numbers for him. Rodriguez, a little bit disappointing, 265, 12 home runs. Buxton, the contact is not the greatest at just 248, but 17 home runs. Aaron Judge, excellent year, 304, 28 bombs, 57 driven in. Stanton, 69 RBIs and 24 homers. He's having a pretty good year. Good year for Kyle Tucker. So that's a pretty comprehensive look around the league at stats, standings, awards, etc. Let's just see who wins the All-Star game here. And it is the National League. So if we do happen to make it to the World Series, we'll get home field advantage. Aaron Shackelford is no longer injured and is eligible to come off the disabled list. He's a pitcher, is he not? Or is he a first baseman? I can't remember. Where are you at, Aaron Shackelford? Oh, it's AA. Aaron Shackelford is a first baseman. I'm going to go ahead and send Mathiasen down. He's been terrible. He gone. That should solve that problem, although we might need to just look at lineups real quick. And we're covered. So, wait, no, that was AAA. Let's try that again. First base. So I want him in the lineup against righties. Let's do that. And then for DH against lefties. Wait, here's where I want him. Sorry. Against lefties, DH is going to be... I think it's going to be Lolo. Actually, it's probably going to be Shackelford. He's got some pop, even though he's not the greatest contact hitter against lefties. All right, so I think we are now through the All-Star break. Giants are going to offer us a trade. Let's see what they've got. See, they're offering us position players in exchange for a reliever, which just makes no sense for us. We need pitching. We're not going to give ours away. That's a dumb trade. And we got to try and sign draft picks yet again here. So, still can't sign him. Taylor, we're going to bump this up and submit it, and we got him. Paniagua, we'll bump that up one notch, and he still declined. What is going on there? Armas, I could probably get him for a pretty low offer. Yep. Cortez, let's say he wants 418. That's right in line with what the league says he should get, and he signs. Gomez wants 271. That's below what the league says, and he signed anyway. So we got two guys left. Obviously, the big one is the stud catcher, but we'll get him. All right, we're back around to where we're going to be doing some quick managing. So it's going to be Keller, Brubaker, and then Milton on Sunday. So sit tight. We're going to head on out to Pittsburgh and see if we can get the second half of the season off on the right track. All right, shutout victories. We take this one 2-0. Mitch Keller was really good in this one. We end up getting 6 hits, 5 walks, and struck out 8 times. Milton had a hit and a couple of walks and drove in a run. So he had a pretty good day at the plate. Keller ends up going 6 2/3, 3 hits, 4 walks, and 10 strikeouts. No earned runs, and 3 of the walks were with 2 outs in the 7th. He just couldn't get out of that inning. Needed Beeks to come in and bail him out, and he did. And then Bednar comes down and closes it out, although gave up a hit and a walk to make it interesting before finally shutting the door. So we take this one 2-0, and now I've already done that. So do I need to redo that? No, we're good. All right, so now it's going to be JT Brubaker against Ross Stripling. So, wait, why? Okay, it is a 3-game set. The Brewers look like they won, so they're still a game and a half up. So sit tight, going back out to San Fran, see if we can pick up another win. Well, they returned the favor and shut us out in this one. We get beat 5-0 at home. Stripling pitched very well in this one and just kind of kept us in check the whole way. We ended up with just 7 hits and a walk, struck out 7 times. 2 more hits for Milton as his average continues to climb. He hit into another double play. JT Brubaker, 5 innings, 7 hits, a walk, 3 strikeouts, 3 earned, and his ERA is now north of 6. We brought in Vince Velasquez, and he kept it close, ended up giving up a couple runs late. And his ERA is 3.5. And I think it's time that we make the move in our rotation to switch these two. Velasquez has a much better whip and ERA. I think he's earned it at this point. Velasquez is just the better pitcher right now, and Brubaker has just been really bad lately. Mitch Keller is listed as cold right now, and that's not good because he can go on to some serious ruts when that happens. All right, so we are now ready for the live game action in this episode, as it's going to be Evan Milton taking on Alex Cobb. The series tied 1-1 as we get ready to head back out to Pittsburgh. Actually, before we go out to Pittsburgh for this one, or actually out to San Francisco, a big trade in the division here as the Cardinals acquire Adolis Garcia. in exchange for Adam Wainwright, obviously the aging superstar once upon a time, and young left fielder Jordan Walker. So an interesting move here. It's kind of surprising that they would trade Wainwright at age 41 when he's been a Cardinal his entire career, but Cardinals are trying to get into the mix here, as you can see by the standings. They're 8.5 back, 8 games below 500, so we'll see if that pays off. But that move occurs just before we head back out to Pittsburgh to see if we can take the rubber match in this series. It's a beautiful day in Pittsburgh as we get ready for action here with the Giants, a game above 500, coming to town to take on the Buccos, who are trying to hang in there in the mix in the NL Central. It's going to be Evan Milton going to the mound for them in the rubber match of this series as they split the first two, each team picking up a shutout as the Giants take Game 2 5-0 after the Pirates took Game 1 2-zip. And so the rubber match is coming up here, and we'll get a look at the numbers for Evan Milton so far this season, making his 24th start. He is 15-2, an ERA just south of 2, 171 strikeouts, over 145 2/3 innings of work, and he has been absolutely awesome. Got him to swing and miss at the changeup down and away, draws the count even to 2-2, and that one is chopped to the right side. Marcano has it and sends it to Choi for the first out. Let's get a look at the Giants lineup in this one, as it's Marsh, Crawford, Jacques Peterson, then Mitch Haniger, Wilmer Flores, Trey Mancini, Michael Conforto, Gary Sanchez, and David Villar. As this team 9th in the National League with 91 home runs so far this season. Brandon Crawford standing in, having a great year, hitting over 300. And that ball sliced down the left field line. Sawinski is going to get there, and that's the second out. So a one-pitch fly out, and that's 2 down. That's a nice pitch from Milton there to start him off, just dotting the corner. It's 0-1, and now grounded to Hayes. And this will do it for the Giants. It's a 1-2-3 first on just 8 pitches. We go to the bottom of the first, and we're scoreless. On the hill for the Giants is the veteran right-hander Alex Cobb, making his 19th start of the year. He's been very solid for them this year. An 8.5 ERA, or 8.5 record with a 2.78 ERA, a whip of 1.28, and 106 innings, 106 hits allowed. So he's been pretty solid for him so far this year. Cobb features a sinker, a splitter, a curve, and a four-seam, and that ball is ripped into the left center field gap by O'Neal Cruz on the first pitch that he sees, and he is going to be into second with a stand-up double, and the Pirates already a runner in scoring position. 3-1, and Reynolds was swinging late on the fastball, fouls it off for 3-0, and that makes it 3-1. And now this one is ripped into right field, but he hit it so hard that it hangs up and is caught in right center field. That is a massive out right there. That's 105 exit velo, but hangs up and is caught for the second out of the inning, and that brings up Evan Milton. He's been swinging the bat pretty well of late, has the average up to 312, and a base hit here could give the Pirates the early lead. So Cobb has his sign, kicks and delivers, and hits the outside corner for strike 1. Started him off with the splitter, and now 0-1. Milton just trying to get the bat on the ball here, hit it hard somewhere. That one is rolled over, and it stays fair. Unfortunately, he'll step on the bag for the final out of the inning, and the Pirates have that leadoff double stranded, and we're scoreless after 1. Milton goes to the curve there. He fouls that one off, and still 2-2. Swing and a miss on a changeup. It was up, but it was off the plate of the way. Haniger couldn't stay back, and he's down on strikes. Ball one low there to Flores, hitting 243 on the year. That's a hanging slider that he pops up the elevator shaft. Rodriguez tosses off the mask and has it, and that makes it 2 down now with nobody on. Slider off the plate away. He lays off, and it's 1-2. He goes to the fastball, gets a bunch of the plate, but Mancini pops that one up, and that'll do it for the Giants in the second. They're set down in order again, and we go to the bottom of the second, and it's going to be 5, 6, 7 due up for the Pirates. Sawinski late on the fastball, and it's even now, 2-2. Swing and a miss on the knuckle curve. Nice pitch there to get him on strikes. And the power outage continues for Sawinski as he's been stuck on 12 for a little while now. As you see the pitch sequence here from Cobb. Splitter, sinker, and then a splitter. Another fastball there. That was the pitch to hit. He missed it, and then the knuckle curve gets him to set him down for the first out. Connor Joe getting the day off, so it's Cal Mitchell here, 1-1. And that one is popped up on the infield. That one should do it for the Pirates in the second, and we are scoreless after 2. Change-up missed low. Good eye by Conforto. It's now 1-1. He turns to the slider here and jammed him. Cruz is under that one, and that's the first out. Sanchez just hitting over 200 barely, and not a lot of power this year, as now he's behind 1-2. And chases one in the dirt. He's down on strikes. Rodriguez sends it down to Choi, and that's the second out of the inning. Villar making his major league debut in this one, as he's behind in the count 0-1. Grounds this one to short. Cruz has it, sends it across the diamond, but pulls Choi off the bag. And Villar is going to reach on an E6 in his first major league plate appearance as the inning stays alive on the errant throw from short. Cruz has a cannon, but he can get a little bit erratic with it. Plenty of time on this one, just a bad throw, and the inning will continue. Nice pitch from Milton there to get ahead 0-1. Then he goes to the changeup. That one's hit softly. Hayes fields and sends it over to Choi, and the error doesn't matter as they strand that runner, and we are scoreless as we now head to the bottom of the third. Good eye from Rodriguez there to draw the count even. It's now 2-2 to the young catcher. And that ball hit well, sliced into left field, and it's going to get down. So nice piece of hitting there by the young switch hitting catcher. Future looks bright for these Pirates as they've got some youth on this team. If they can get some pitching to build around, this team could be dangerous for the next several years. Boy, Cruz had one to hit there, but is out in front of the sinker, and it's now 1-1. Now a splitter that he just torches, but a diving stop by Mancini, who touches the bag, throws to the second from his wallet, and they put the tag on Rodriguez to get the final out of the inning. That is just a sensational effort to wrap up that one with the twin killing. So Brandon Crawford will get things going for the Giants here in the fourth, but he is swinging at a changeup on the first pitch. Hits a soft grounder to Marcano, and it's one pitch, one out here in the fourth. It's a heck of an at-bat for Peterson. Now 3-2. He's fouled off a couple of pitches, and now watches one in the dirt for ball 4. So a heck of an AB there from Peterson as he draws the walk with one out here in the inning. That's 3 straight sliders now from Milton. Haniger able to lay off of that one. It's now 1-2. And he goes up the ladder with a fastball. This one popped up into shallow right field. Marcano was under it, and that's the second out. Flores late on that fastball down and away, and fouls it off. It's 1-2. He goes up and in and froze him. So he strikes him out to end the inning, and Milton, through 4 scoreless, just 1 walk allowed, one runner reaching on error, but the Pirates got to get the bats going as it's 2-3-4 due up in the bottom half. That's 2 great splitters in a row from Cobb, and it's now 2-2 to Hayes. And he blew him away with a sinker up and in, and Hayes continues to struggle with the bat, hitting just 230-something and still looking for his first home run of the season after the All-Star break. Just unreal what kind of struggles he's been having at the plate this year. Now it's Brian Reynolds standing in with 1 out here in the fourth, and that ball is smoked down the right field line and stays fair. Goes to the wall. He hit it hard enough that he's going to have to hustle to get 2, but he is into second with a 1-out double. Now it's going to be Evan Milton here. 1 out, runner in scoring position, and an opportunity for the Pirates to try and grab the lead. He watches one missed low there, as remember he stranded a runner at second back in the first inning, and now another RBI opportunity with 2 outs here for the young two-way star. And he's ahead 2-0. So with the base open, you've got to think they're going to want to pitch him carefully. He had one to hit there, but fouled it off down the third base line. Now it's 2-1. Bob has his sign, kicks and delivers, and that ball is hit well, but he pulled it foul, and that's going to run the count even at 2 apiece. Just 1 out in here in the inning, so I was thinking it was a 2-out RBI opportunity, but that's not accurate. That's going to at least get the runner over. Whoa, look at this. He beats it out for an infield single. I thought that was just going to be a fielder's choice that would move the runner up to third, but he's hustling out of the box, and when you smell a hit in the bigs, man, it can add some speed to your 40 time, and look at the speed there. 4.1 seconds from home to first, and he legs out an infield single on a soft grounder to second. Now 3-1 to Jack Sawinski. Runners on first and third. And that ball is hit hard through the right side and into right field. That's going to get the first run on the board for the Pirates, as it's now 1-0 on the RBI single from Sawinski on a sinker down and in that he just turned on that one, ripped it into right field. That one's low and makes it now 2-0 to Ji-Man Choi. Big pitch coming here. And he hits it down the third base line. Diving try. He knocks it into foul territory, recovers, throws across the diamond, but they aren't going to get anybody. It goes down as another infield single for the Pirates here in the inning and makes it bases loaded with 1 out. So Choi a little bit late on that one, but that's a heck of an effort. If he doesn't knock that down, Milton surely scores. So you at least keep the double play in order to give yourself a chance to get out of this inning and minimize the damage. Bob misses inside, and it's now 3-1 to Cal Mitchell. You got to be very selective here. And he missed high with it to walk home a run. Milton comes in to score. It's now 2-0 Pirates. It's an RBI for Mitchell, and that brings up Marcano with the bases still loaded and 1 away. Marcano out in front of the splitter, pulls it foul, and it's now 0-2. And this one is lifted into shallow center field. Sawinski runs pretty well, so we'll see if they want to test him. He is going, and here comes the throw to the plate. It's up the line, not in time, and it's 3-0 Pirates. A sacrifice RBI for Marcano there, and it's now a 3-run lead for the Buccos. Rodriguez singled back in the third, and with a runner on second here and 2 outs, Choi will get a jump, so a single here could score that runner from second. That ball lifted into deep left field, but it is not going to get out of here. It is caught for the final out of the inning, but the Pirates put up a crooked number here, and they've got a 3-run edge as we head to the 5th. Good location there, but just missing inside, and it's now 1-1. Chop one to the right side. That's going to be a pretty routine play for Marcano, and that's the first out. So he's swinging 3-0 and out in front of a fastball. So now it's 3-1 as he pulls that one foul, and now he rolls over a changeup that was very hittable. Choi sends it to Milton, who covers the bag, steps on first, and that's the second out. Sanchez chased one down out of the zone and struck out in his first appearance. That one is hit hard as he hung a slider. He goes against the shift, past the diving try by Choi, and the no-hitter is gone as Sanchez is into second with a 2-out double here in the top of the 5th. So he's early on an inside fastball. Fouls it off, and it stays alive here at 2-2. And now the changeup is hanging, and he rips this one into deep left center field. No one's going to get to that one as it's going to bounce over the wall for an RBI double for David Millar. His first big league knock, and it puts the Giants on the board here. And the score now 3-1 here in Pittsburgh. Brandon Marsh 0 for 2. First pitch, that ball's hit back up the middle. Diving stop by Marcano, throws from his knees and got him to end the inning. Heck of a play there by the second baseman as he saves a run and gets them out of this pickle here, as that one would have made it a 1-run game had it gotten through. Nice piece of defensive work there, and we are going to the bottom of the 5th in a 3-1 ball game here in Pittsburgh. Cruz has hit the ball very hard twice in a row, and now they're kind of pitching him carefully as it's now 3-0. And that one misses high. They walk him on 4 pitches. He's got really good speed, not necessarily known for his base stealing prowess, but if you get him in motion, he can absolutely run with the best of them. Reynolds has hit the ball hard both times. He lined out to right and then doubled in his second plate appearance. Behind in the count 0-1. This ball hit hard. This should be a double play. 4, 6, 3, and that's going to do it for the Pirates in the 5th. We're going to the 6th. It's a 2-run game. It's 3-1 as the Giants are going to go back to the bat. Good eyes. He lays off the changeup down, and it's now 1-2. Fastball is up the ladder, and he pops this one up. Hayes is under it, and that should be the first out. Peterson early on that fastball. Drew a walk his last time up, behind the count 1-2, and he chased one way off the plate away, down on strikes for the second out of the inning. So that's 3 very close misses for Milton. In fact, one of them probably should have been strike 3, but instead, payoff pitch, checked his swing, but he went around. He's down on strikes to end the inning. 6 innings, 2 hits, just 1 run allowed by Milton as we go to the bottom of the 6th, and it's 3-1 Pirates. The Giants are going to turn to the bullpen here as it's Anthony DeSclafani having a pretty good year for them. 104 innings of work across 42 appearances, a 3.18 ERA. He's given up a bunch of hits, but he's doing a good job of minimizing damage. He's going to have to get things started here against Evan Milton as we'll take a look at the pitch mix for DeSclafani. Throws a slider as his main pitch, and then fastball, sinker, changeup, and curve to go along with them. So Milton stands in 1 for 2 in this one, legged out an infield single his last time up, and takes a fastball right down the chute for strike 1. Now the 0-1 from DeSclafani is just outside. Tried to backdoor him with a slider, but he missed the corner, and it's now 1-1. And he got him to reach at that one, but that's going to be another infield single, as once that got by the third baseman, Crawford just no chance with Milton's speed, and he's now 2 for 3 with a pair of infield singles. Good eye there by Sawinski, lays off the slider outside, and he runs the count full, and now the payoff pitch is on the way. And crushed to deep center field. The power drought is over for Jack Sawinski as he goes deep to center field. A no-doubter to make it 5-1 Pirates. His 13th of the season, 423 feet, 101.3 on the exit velo, and the Pirates lead is now 4. Heck of an at-bat here, as this will be pitch number 9 to Andy Rodriguez. The runner will be in motion here with 3-2, 2 outs. And that ball hit back up the middle. Crawford has it, sends it across the diamond to Mancini, and that's going to do it for the Pirates in the 6th. But they get a pair and extend that lead to make it 5-1 as we head to the 7th. Doubled up on the curve, and Flores just barely able to fight that one off. He goes back to it for a 3rd time, and that's good hitting there as he stays back, takes it back up the middle for a leadoff single, as he just got a little bit too greedy trying to try that curve for the 3rd time in a row, and it backfires. Action in the Pirates bullpen as they've got a lefty getting loose. Mancini standing in here, runner on first, 1 away, or nobody out. He hits this ball hard, but Mitchell was going to get there. Loud contact there, but it's a 1-pitch out, and that makes it now runner on first, 1 out here in the inning, and a double play could get Milton out of this as Conforto steps in, and it's 85 pitches so far for Milton, but he looks pretty strong so far. First pitch is lifted into left field, so this is going to be back-to-back 1-pitch outs as Sawinski is under that one, and that makes it now 2 down, and that runner still on first. So he gets the call that time. After a couple of close calls go against him, it's now 3-2, runner on first, 2 down, the runner's in motion. He tries a slider, but Sanchez lays off for ball 4, and that makes it now 1st and 2nd. 2 down here in the inning for David Villar. Milton just going back to the fastball there. 2 in a row, down and away on the corner at the knees. Just not much you can do with that. He goes back to it again there. And Cruz wanted to go to 3rd, but Hayes wasn't covering the bag, and that's going to go down as an infield single, I would imagine. And the inning continues now. Bases loaded, and the Giants could tie this thing with 1 swing of the bat. Here, you look here. You can't fault Hayes for his initial step going that direction, but then he just kind of watching what was going on before he realized that he needed to cover 3rd, and that's going to be tough break for the Pirates as the inning continues for Brandon Marsh. And that's going to do it for Evan Milton. With a lefty due up in Brandon Marsh, they are going to turn to the bullpen here with 2 outs in the 7th, bases loaded, and the 3 runners that are on are credited to Evan Milton, so he is responsible for them, but he pitched very well in this one. Just 1 runner allowed so far, and we'll see how things fare as Perdomo steps in. Okay, so as we talked about, Angel Perdomo into the game here in a big situation here. He's facing 3 lefties in a row that are due up, but you really want to get this first out and cut off the bleeding here before they can get any runs. And he gets a line out to end the inning. That's just huge right there. Now, DeSclafani going to stay in the game, it looks like. Hayes draws a walk. I'm going to try and send it. And he gets caught stealing. That's okay. Single for Reynolds. Round out for Milton. We'll let him face those 2. He's done pretty well, so let's see if he can finish the inning. An error. I'm not going to mess around. I'm going to go to Underwood here in a situation where surely he's not going to blow the game. How do you have 10 blown saves with a 1.18 whip and a 3.02 ERA? That's just crazy. Gets us out of that one, and now on to the bottom of the 8th. Single for Choi. Walk. We go to Alexander, who is a lefty, so we're going to pinch hit here. Castro. Alright, I'm gonna let Underwood go. There we go. So that might actually get him a save, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not really sure. Let's see. So Milton gets the win. 6 2/3, 3 hits, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, 1 earned. Pretty solid day for him. Just could not quite finish out the 7th. Who were the 2 errors for us? I know we saw one with Cruz. Marcano had the other. But he also had a huge diving stop that saved a run. Sawinski got the home run. He had 3 RBIs on the day. Pretty solid day for him. Milton ends up with 2 more hits. Continues to climb in the batting average column. 2 hits for Brian Reynolds. I'd like to see that. We got to get Hayes hitting. He's just been terrible. 233 with no home runs at this point. Milton gets win number 16. Good job by Perdomo and Underwood to finish this one off. And we get the victory here by the final of 5-1. So we're going to work our way back to the main screen here, simulate a few games, and get back to where Milton is due up for his next start, and that's where we will wrap the episode. So, it's Cleveland on tap here. Henry Davis, minor injury. He's just going to miss a day or 2. We're going to try and sign some draft picks here. We only have 2 left. I can actually make an offer for him, but let's get this guy and see if we can sign him first. We're going to bump that up. And he still declines. Like, what are you doing? Now, Roulette, I think with him, he wants 9.3. The draft value, as far as the slot value, is 8.8. I don't want to mess around here, though. I'm going to try and get him locked up. And I think it's going to take several tries here. But we'll see how things go there. That's all we can do on that front. Now it's going to be Roansy Contreras taking on Zach Plesac, as we're now 2.5 back. The Brewers are they've been on fire for a while. 8 of their last 10 as we get ready for this homestand against the Guardians. Well, we were never really in this one. We lose it 7-2. Just 7 hits as a team, 2 walks. We struck out 6 times. O'Neal Cruz 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. 2 more hits for Reynolds, another hit for Milton. So we continue to look to get Reynolds on track, obviously. Connor Joe hit a home run, had 2 RBIs. Contreras wasn't great. 5 innings, 8 hits, 3 walks. Just 1 strikeout, gave up 4 earned. Oviedo, 2 runs over 2 innings. Garcia, a run over 2 innings. This was just never really much of a solid performance on either side of the equation. Henry Davis is no longer injured. I'm going to just say, actually, let's say place on the bench and then go make sure that we put him in where we want him, which is right there batting 3rd every day. I need to get him going. That's not going to get it done hitting 240 or whatever. How is Johnson doing at AAA? He's actually swinging it well. 277. It's only 65 at bats, but I'm happy with that performance. Next up is Mitch Keller against Shane Bieber. We got to get one of our starter, like everybody other than Milton right now in this rotation has been terrible. Maybe Velasquez changes that, but like Contreras and Keller have got to pick it up. So let's go back out to Pittsburgh and see if we can get a win here, as I think the Brewers may have been off. But either way, we're still down 3 games in the division, and we've got to try and close that gap. Oh, we lose a tough one here. We were down 3-0, battled back. We actually got a runner into scoring position in the 9th and got a hit, but got the runner thrown out at home. 9 hits and 6 walks on the day. We just could not come up with the big hit when we needed it. 3 strikeouts, so when we were putting the ball in play, Milton hit into another double play. He's just a machine when it comes to that. Keller was okay. 6 innings, 6 hits, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3 earned. Not terrible, but again, not great. I'll take that from him, though. I just want some consistency. And then Perdomo did an excellent job, but we just couldn't get the big hit when we needed it, and we fall short yet again. And now we got to win one here just to not get swept. Nick Gonzalez is no longer injured. So we need to resituate our AAA roster and lineups. So let's see here. We've got a couple of third basemen. We've got multiple shortstops, multiple second base. D. Strange Gordon is going to have to go down to AA. I feel bad for doing it, but it's just, it makes sense. Jackson Glenn, he is not getting it done, so we'll move him to single A. And then for lineups, I don't think Nick Gonzalez gets into the starting lineup over either of these two. Although, I mean, Peguero has not been very good, and Gonzalez is better against lefties. Let's do that. Then for AA, I think D. Strange Gordon just pretty much plays second base every day, is how this is going to work. All right, so that's that. And next up is Velasquez versus McKenzie. Brewers won again, and we're now down 4 games in the division. So we've got to start getting some victories, and really we need them to start losing. But we'll see if Vince can keep it going as he gets his first crack back in the starting rotation here against the Guardians. Well, we lose another one where our pitching let us down, our bullpen, I should say. We lose 2-1 in 10 innings. Man, Vince Velasquez was awesome in this game, but our offense was just awful. 4 hits in 10 innings. We struck out 10 times, just 2 walks. Milton got a hit. I had to give Reynolds a day off. He was just exhausted. And bottom line, our offense was really bad. Velasquez, 7 innings, 2 hits, 1 run. It was unearned. Just 2 walks allowed. He was fantastic. Then Beeks comes in and blows it. Then Underwood comes in and didn't do a very good job in the 9th and ends up giving up a couple of hits. And then he gets saddled with the loss, although Garcia is the one that gave up the hit with the extra innings rule in place, and then also gave up another run to where then I couldn't even just sacrifice my way into a tie ball game. I had to try and get a hit, and of course we couldn't. So we get swept at home by the Guardians. Blue Jays are going to make us an offer here. Yusei Kikuchi in exchange for Nick Gonzalez. So Kikuchi is a veteran lefty. This is one that might make sense for us. Let's take a look here. The attributes aren't anything to write home about. as far as his stats, they are definitely not anything to write home about. He's been really bad this year. He was bad last year. He's never been great. Like, even that season, which was his best, a 1.32 whip is nothing stellar. So I don't think this helps us all that much, except maybe it makes us better in long relief by being able to send down Oviedo. I don't know that it's a terrible idea because Nick Gonzalez isn't going to do us much good in the long run anyway. But the fact is, he's not the answer that I'm looking for to plug into the starting rotation. I need somebody that's basically better than at least one of these two guys, and right now, that's not Yusei Kikuchi. So I think we pass on this one and take our chances with the guys that we've got. So, oh, it's another day to sign draft picks here, as we get a day off and then Milton will get to go. In fact, yeah. So let's see who we can get signed here. So this guy should sign, and I shouldn't even have to move this offer up, but I'm going to do it anyway. No, I'm not. I'm not even going to do it. And he signed anyway. That's big, because now all the money that I've got left, I can give to Jess Ouellette and try and get him signed. And he signs. That's big. So now we're done with that part of the process, and it's just, playing the rest of the way out to finish off the season. So it's going to be Milton against Sandoval. The Brewers have dropped, it looks like 2 in a row over the last couple days. So even though we lost that game, we actually gained a half of a game by having the off day. And so, we can continue to try and claw our way back into this, but 2 games above 500 is not getting it done. And a lot of it has been pitching, letting us down in big situations. So we'll see if we can get it back on track in the next one, but that's going to do it for this episode. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment below, and we will see y'all next time.
Good evening, friends and neighbors. Or shall I say this afternoon?